I work in radio, and since I started in this field, it's definitely changed my perspective about listening to the radio. I thought it would be a good idea to retrace my relationship with radio. It might be difficult for younger people to understand, but there was a time in America, long, long ago, when the only electronic device children had in their bedroom was the AM/FM transistor radio. One of the fun things we did at night, when the weather was just right, we could tune into AM stations from faraway cities like New York, Boston, and Philadelphia. The fascinating part wasn't necessarily the music. Heck, our stations played the same songs. It was the jocks telling their stories and talking about what was hot in their cities. It served as a reminder that there was a big, exciting world out there beyond our neighborhoods and towns. As a young teenager, the radio and jocks on our favorite stations were all larger than life. They were huge celebrities. They introduced us to new music. They made us feel that we were setting our own course as individuals as we chose music that differed greatly from that of our parents. These radio jocks made us feel like we were part of a bigger community of our choosing. They kept us informed of when new songs were coming up, so we could try to record them to our tape recorder. They would announce when the newest albums were coming out and where to meet for that social function that we loved so much for that new album release at the record store. The radio jocks were only a phone call away to request your favorite song or for so many great contests. They weren't just announcers, they were the trusted, cool friends. As an older teenager, the radio and jocks were our constant sidekicks on all of our car adventures, especially those first few nerve-wracking and terribly exciting car dates. Need I say more? As we grew into adults, radio still played a huge part in our lives. In addition to the workday commute where we depend on our favorite jocks to put a smile on our face and a laugh on our minds to start the day, we also rely on them to help us get to work in the quickest way possible by avoiding traffic jams. As we were moving into our new homes, it was the radio that was on. When preparing the room that would be the nursery for our children, we shared that experience with our favorite radio station and jocks. During cookouts of friends and family working on a home improvement or lawn project, we listened to the radio. During natural disasters or weather emergencies, when the power's out, radio is our only source of information about news and community response efforts. Radio is often the first line of defense against impending dangerous weather conditions, so it can be called a lifesaver. While hunkered down in our homes during hurricanes, the radio and on-air personalities are our only connection to the outside world, reminding us that we are not alone. Many times we've imagined what our favorite radio jocks looked like, only to be shocked when we met them in public. Many of us have felt a loss when our favorite jock left our favorite radio station. The departure was often made worse when we didn't know why they left the air, or the resentment we felt about the station management we found out they were fired. When people say that radio is about the music, they're partially right, but not completely. A radio station is a community that listeners choose to join, in part for the music, and in a much larger part, the sense of belonging generated by their relationships with the on-air personalities. When's the last time you heard someone say, Fox 5 in D.C. is my favorite television station? They don't. They might say they like the evening or morning news team or a certain show. Can you imagine the response a viewer would get if they called their local NBC TV station and made a request to watch a different show? The music on our favorite stations can change our moods. When songs come on from our past, they are often associated with major events in our lives, lost loves, loved ones that have passed, or pleasant experiences from our younger days. All of us know times have changed and people's listening habits have changed, due in part to the many different choices for music delivery. However, I suspect that the more radio stations try to mimic streaming devices or MP3 players, the more we actually push listeners to those devices. Radio stations need to differentiate themselves from the other media and do what they do best. When we combine the music with our on-air radio friends, radio becomes something unlike any other electronic device. It's more than just music. It's a relationship.